Remedies of nation building. Just now we learned about the obstacles or hindrances of nation building. So we need to have certain remedies to solve the problem. So the first remedy is political stability. So let's see. The government elected by the people has to continue for the full term so as to adopt and implement the policies for development. So if the leader is appointed, he has to perform the duties till his tenure period comes. Frequent changes in government result in slow development and political uncertainty. If a leader he changes before his tenure, actually there are some program has to be implemented by him. So it will be pending. So the frequent changes of the government thus resulted in slow development of political uncertainty. In order to maintain political stability, so due to the frequent changes of government, Constitution Review the Commission headed by Justice M.N. Venkatachaya, he suggested there should be an adoption of constructive vote of non-confidence system in 2002. So this constructive vote of non-confidence system, it can be told that there is a variation on the motion on non-confidence that allows Parliament to withdraw from the head of a government only if there is positive majority for a prospective successor. So I'll tell you the example. If a leader want to quit, he can quit only if there is positive majority for whom they need to accept the successive government or the coming person to be the head. Number 2. Selection of priorities. The government has to choose the areas of priority necessary for the nation building. These priorities are to be decided on the basis of the needs of the people. Infrastructure, education, transport, employment, agriculture, industries and health services may be accorded priorities for nation development. Number 3. Effective implementation of plans. Since April 2012, 25th 5-year plan is under progress. To fill the gap of previous plan, it is aimed at channelizing. Channelizing means it is aimed at passing the resources and implementing effectively. 4. Mixed economy. Public and private partnership not only strengthen the economy but also contributes for its sustenance, contributes for its foods and shelter. The contribution of the private enterprises has been phenomenal. Phenomenal means the contribution of a private sector has been remarkable in the economic front. Example, Tata's, Birla's, Wipro, Infosys and others have not only generated employment but also contributed for the economic progress. Number 5. Implementation of Directive Principle of State Policy. Part 4 of Indian Constitution emphasizes the establishment of a socio-economic democracy through the adoption of revolutionary policies. Revolutionary policies means it is policies that has been experienced by the people. That is the field of socio-economic development. That's why this Directive Principle of State Policies has been established. Concentration of wealth in few hands is an obstacle for the development of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and backward classes to implement the ideals of egalitarian type of society. Egalitarian type of society means there should be everyone equal in the society. Hence, implementation of Directive Principle of State Policy is necessary at this situation or juncture. Number 6. Role of civil society or civil administration service. In India, civil society organizations are playing an important role in nation building. They are fighting against political and administrative corruption, red tapeism, political apathy, that means lack in interest in political field, and anti-people policies. These activities need to strengthen to hasten or move the process of nation building. Movements like India Against Corruption, Association for Democratic Reforms, Election Watch, and other NGOs are playing constructive role in this direction. Nation building is a long and challenging process. It requires charismatic or energetic and dynamic political leadership, competent civil service, active participation of people, and vigilant media. So here ends nation building.